is how we do it. This is how we do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, cops and robbers, zombies, xenomorphs, and monsters up in the internet. This is Devin with Gaming in Progress, and today we're going to be looking at some more of Evolve. Particularly the monsters, starting with the Goliath, as he's the default monster that you start out with. There are a couple things we're going to talk about is how to play this monster, and in later episodes we'll talk about how to play the other monsters as well. Now one thing to note about all the monsters is really, as you can see, you start out with the ability to select your powers in the beginning. You can either put 1 point into 3 or 3 points into 1 or whatever. I lately have been putting everything for the Goliath into Fire Breath simply because it gives an effective and a fast way to kill targets and move on. And his Fire Breath is very powerful as well. Okay, so moving along here, one thing that you want to do is for the monsters, for your perk, you definitely want to go with Feeding Speed. It seems to be the most useful and effective perk of all. At stage 2, it boosts your feeding speed by 55%. At stage 1, at tier 1, it's, what was it, 37% or something? And then at tier 3, I'm not really sure what it boosts your feeding level by, as I haven't unlocked that yet. Tier 3, you unlock at level 29. So the way to play the Goliath is kind of stealthy in the beginning. I mean, the Goliath is basically the tank of the 3 monsters. You have the Goliath, you have the Kraken, and you have the Wraith. The Wraith is a deadly assassin, the Kraken is death from above. But the Goliath, when he first starts out, as strong, as heavy hitting as he can be, he's still not that powerful overall. So you want to avoid the hunters. Probably go for the lower level monsters, just so that you can level up, you can evolve faster. Generally, the smaller the monster, the easier it is to kill that monster, and the quicker it is to eat that monster. The only downside is you don't get as much food and armor from that monster, obviously, because it's a smaller monster. But you definitely want to favor sneaking around in the beginning. Excuse me here. And then once you get to stage 2, or the ability to evolve to stage 2, then you can just kind of run away if the hunters are near you. I'd suggest just taking off, ignoring the whole stealth mechanism from then, so you can get somewhere safe away from the hunters. And as you can see, I'm kind of stealthing it right here because I'm at the point of evolve, but the hunters are right there and I just don't want to deal with them right now. Because taking out the hunters at stage 1 is the last thing you want to do. You can do it, I've seen it done. I have the trophy where you defeat all the hunters at stage 1. But the circumstances have to be right. The hunters generally are a lower level, and sometimes they'll also have been damaged by the other in-game monsters as well, and that all helps to give you the edge that you need to take them out early on. So I move away here to a different point, and as you kind of guessed, this is more commentary style instead of live reaction style like my first Evolve video was. So I'm using the share factory again. I do apologize if the audio is a little wonky for my recording. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just the way Share Factory seems to record and overlay the audio. So anyway, as you can see, I'm just trying to get far enough away from the hunters to where I feel safe that I can evolve and not be attacked. Generally, I look for a place that's kind of secluded, got a tree or something near it, maybe a couple brushes I can hide in if need be. And the rain earlier also helped me escape from the hunters as well. So as you can see, I was able to completely evolve without taking any damage. I didn't lose any of my main health. You do lose your armor every time you evolve, so I try and be near some sort of food source just so I can get that armor built back up at least a little bit. And then from there, you just kind of move along. You can be a little bit safer in feeling that you can take on the hunters unless they're really experienced hunters. You can take them on fairly well. I mean, you may not beat them, but you can definitely hold your own against them more safely now than you could at stage 1. I typically try not to engage the hunters directly until stage 3 unless I'm cornered. If the trapper happens to if the trapper happens to deploy the field, then I'll generally kind of engage, and I'll only focus on the trapper unless I have to focus on like the medic or something to stop healing the trapper. And then I'm just kind of hiding in these bushes here. Always make use of foliage. You would not believe how many times I've hidden in foliage and the hunters have just simply walked past because they weren't really paying attention to it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time, but if you don't want to engage the hunters and you just want to kind of see if they can walk by without you having to do anything, then a good way to do it is just to find some foliage and make sure that you're not exposed in it. As you can see my back half just a little bit, but from the angle the hunters are at right now, they wouldn't be able to see me. The only exception maybe being if they had the default trapper, because the default trapper uses a dog or an alien dog to kind of hunt the monster. So that will sometimes walk up to you and sniff it, but even then I've had instances where they just simply are ignoring the dog and continue on. So as you can see, I'm kind of able to hide here for quite a long time before. I don't know if they were just randomly shooting. I think they were. They were just like randomly taking shots, and they just so happened to shoot in my direction, which caught me on fire and exposed me to them. So I'm in the process of trying to escape here. And you also want to make use of every monster has a fast travel ability, so to speak. The Kraken has the ability to fly, the Wraith has the ability to kind of like teleport, and the Goliath has the ability to jump, obviously. Now the Goliath isn't as useful in my opinion as some of the other ones. You have to be a little bit high up to make your jump more effective. Would you knock it off, Charlie? But I mean, you can still cover a good amount of distance. As you can see, I focused on the trapper, got the shield down, and now I'm getting out of there. Because I don't feel like dealing with the hunters until stage 3. Part of that is because I rather go for the power relay itself than the hunters, because I just love the look of the explosion and shit. It's very fulfilling. So I keep moving along here, consuming things that they had killed for whatever reason. Just trying to get to the point where I can evolve again to stage 3. And as you can see, I've been avoiding the bigger monsters too, simply because the hunters know I'm in this area, and you wanna make sure you have distance between yourself and the hunters before you engage the bigger monsters. Simply because it takes longer to kill them, and they will attack you, and they can do damage to either your shield, or not your shield, your armor, or your health as well. So while there is a benefit to eating them, to defeating them and eating them, as you can get more progress towards your next evolutionary state, it does require weighing in the risk factor. If you're too close to the hunters, I would recommend against doing it. You can see I'm going to continue to escape here, consuming as I go. That feeding speed really comes in handy in instances where you're on the run. because you can kill something quick, something small, and then quickly consume it and continue on. And I'm almost to stage 3 here. And this is where stage 3 really is where the real fun begins, because that's when once you hit stage 3, the hunters will sometimes the hunters will still pursue you, but more often than not I've seen that the hunters will just kind of fall back towards the relay station, and that gives you a little bit of free reign to build up your armor once again and then go attack them. Because protecting the relay station is crucial to victory for the hunters, and it's also crucial to defeat for the monster. As a monster can either kill all the hunters or destroy the relay station, and it's just kind of it kind of depends on which one is easier at the time. Lazarus, which is one of the medics, seems to be pretty powerful and good. And he can kind of make it a little bit difficult to kill all the hunters, because unless you consume the corpses of the hunters, then you're going to have him reviving them every time you get off of them after you kill them. And if you go after Lazarus first, usually he's being protected by the rest of the team, so yeah. You can see here, I made sure to kill some food nearby first, just so I could build up my armor. Because the armor really helps. I mean, you can soak up quite a bit of damage with just your health, but the armor is just going to give you that extra boost that you need to change the tides. Because the hunters, while they may be lacking in health, their weapons are pretty freaking powerful. Especially the assault one and the support. The trapper and the medic, not so much on the way of power. You can see I tried to make a rock throw here, and the rock throw really is actually a really nice ranged attack too, especially if you can land it properly. It's a little bit hard to land. It relies on both your timing, getting the trajectory right, and counting on the hunter still being either in the location that you threw it, that they were beforehand or afterhand, because hunters will kind of move if they see a rock coming towards them. But if you do it right, if they're already moving, you can manage to throw a rock where they're supposed to be landing, then it gets really useful. As you can see, I missed again there. I'm trying to kill off as many of the hunters as I can here, especially the medic. Well, the medic and the trapper are two of the greatest risks in my opinion, because the medic can revive anyone, and the trapper has the ability to not only deploy the force shield around the arena zone or whatever. The trapper also has the ability to fire grapple hooks and other things that will slow you down and prevent your movement. As you can see here, I'm going to go attack the other hunters. The support on this one is actually playing with the robot, whatever the hell his name is, I forget. Bucket. Yeah, Bucket's his name. And so he's got the little deployable drones and stuff, which are very handy if you're on the hunter team. Very much a pain in the ass if you're not. As you can see, I've pretty much got everybody dead except for the assault dude over there. So I start attacking the relay station. And actually what he's doing here is actually pretty smart. As you can see, he'll like attack and then he'll run away when my attention is focused on him. And he'll make sure he's out of the way, and then when I go back to attacking the relay station, he'll start attacking me again. However, for his sake, it ends up being in vain, as you can see, because I end up killing him, and I win without even destroying the relay station. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them down below. This is Dumb Gaming in Progress, and I will see you guys in the next video.